Okay, coming back to this, my storage ran out, so this is lesson part 2. So yeah, it's a C minor bar chord, right? And then if we take this finger off, right back here for instance, we have an A minor 7 chord, okay? This being G being the flat 7 note. This is a kind of more melodic minor chord, and these are the shapes that you're playing in some of your original songs. So that's where it stems from, this A-shaped chord being taken into the guitar up the fretboard and then being applied with a different root note, creating a different chord altogether. And this obviously works right up the guitar that way. So that's just a way of identifying what chord you're playing, in what position, all that kind of stuff. And then you can also do that obviously with your E shapes, F being there, E, F. This is where our root note recognition really helps. So if I know that that's G on the bottom string and the 3rd fret, then I just build my E-shaped chord off that, and suddenly I've got this major chord, all depending now on the bottom string root note. And that works beautifully because this is an E chord and this is an E note, so these are E-shaped chords coming through here: E major, E minor, E7, E minor 7. So we can explore more and more of those shapes, and then to just identify exactly what we're playing when we're playing it. Okay. And then we talked about inverted chords a little bit as well. So we've got, so a nice little shape to work with is a G7, for instance. Like, it doesn't have to be G7, as we've just discovered, it can be anything we want, but it's a little shape that moves around the guitar. It's called a tritone, so it's a 7 chord. So here in the position of G, we have our 2nd finger on the 4th string in the 3rd fret and our little finger on the 3rd string in the 4th fret, and our 1st finger is our root note on the bottom string, the 3rd fret. That's our G7. And then we move this little kind of piano voicing. So we've got this guy to start with, and then little finger moves up, 3rd finger takes over on the A note, and then the F turns up here with our 1st finger on the 4th string. So it's that 4th and 3rd string moving up with this bass note. And what we eventually get to is a G major triad, which is made up of the 1st, 3rd and 5th. So G, B, D, but now we've got B, G, D. It's an inverted chord, it's been turned over, so the 3rd is now on the bottom. And that gives it a different, and then we can make that minor by flattening the 3rd, just as if we had a major chord, we made it minor by taking that note back down to a minor 3rd. So then you have this kind of movement that's happening. Yeah, so that's the inverted chord shape. And you would have seen chords like this. This is D with the F sharp, this note on the top, the 3rd of the chord being put on the bottom, which kind of helps us get to the G really nicely. Okay, and that happens with one of your songs as well, when you've gone from these shapes back to here. You've got a G over B, so that's our 3rd of the chord, our B, G, B, D, being put on the bottom of a little G power chord. That's where that sound comes from. And in that progression you were playing yesterday, it's interesting too, because you go back to a major chord, but it's also, you can use that kind of minor shape. I flatten that 3rd to make that a minor, G over B flat. And that kind of keeps it all in that minor tonality. Okay, great, thanks.